Well, hello, hello, lovelies. I am so pleased that you could join me today. This is going to be a DIY of recovering just the chair cushion of this old chair that I found at Goodwill. This is a picture of the seat cushion that I got from Joann's, and these are the supplies that you'll need. So, first of all, you need to use your screwdriver and remove these screws that hold the chair cushion in place. And you're going to have to make sure that you get the correct kind of screwdriver, because I actually thought I needed a Phillips screwdriver, but I really did need the flathead screwdriver, which was pretty funny because I thought I had checked ahead of time. So this is just kind of a close-up of me just unscrewing it. And if you haven't done a lot of DIY work or anything with tools, it is good to remember that it is lefty-loosey and righty-tighty. So now I am just removing the fabric from the bottom of the chair cushion, and it almost looks like it was just put on with a regular stapler because it was super easy to pull all those staples out. I actually didn't even need the screwdriver in the end. There was a couple of them that were a little bit more stubborn, but the rest of them just came out super easy just by pulling the fabric. So that was kind of nice for me, a little bit more handy than having to use the screwdriver for every one of them. But you might need to use a screwdriver to remove the staples if it's a little bit more difficult. For example, if somebody actually used a real staple gun. So then I'm just removing the foam and placing my foam on the top side of it. And you can see that mine is a square and the seat makes a little bit more of a diagonal. So I am just removing that excess cushion from the sides, and I just scored it along the line there, and that way it just matches the wooden seat. Now the edge of it is not super smooth like the cushion came, but you can shape that a little bit more if you would like, or leave it because it's not really very apparent once you actually put the fabric over it. Now this is the fabric that I chose, and I actually love both sides, so it was really hard for me to decide which one I wanted to do it on. I really liked both the dark and the light, but I ended up choosing to use the lighter side. Now you will notice that I put the cushion in the middle over of the fabric on the wrong side of the fabric, leaving the side that I want to be on the top on the outside. And I place the cushion in the middle and fold up each side so that I can make sure that there will be enough fabric to cover the whole seat, and make sure that I can safely attach all the fabric on each side. Um, Otherwise, there would be gaps in the cushion and it just would not look very good. And you could use any kind of fabric that you want here. This one that I've chosen is actually a little bit more of a heavier fabric, which is kind of nice when you're using it for something like a seat, because it's going to get a lot of wear and tear because you're going to be sitting and getting up and down quite a bit. Now, you can use a heavier fabric like I did. There's also outdoor fabrics that might be nicer to use. And one of the nice things about these kind of things, these kind of projects, are that you can use a lot of different types of fabric, and you could actually use a more bold pattern if you wanted, because it is a smaller piece. And so it wouldn't make as much of a statement necessarily as having crazy patterned curtains or anything. So that's kind of a fun choice that you can make when you're doing a project like this. So now I am just taking each side, and I put one staple in one side and then immediately put one staple in the other side, so you can kind of keep it even. You're not just stapling all on one side and then to the next one. And then I went to the corners and I stapled one side down, and then I kind of made a hospital corner where I folded the other side over to kind of make it a nicer corner. You can kind of tell right there when I just did it. And to me, that's kind of a nice, that made it kind of look nice to me anyways. And that was my choice. You, however, can do your corners any way you would like. You could probably do it similar to when you wrap a present, where you just put one side down and then put the other side over it, like you would a present, and that would make it more of just a fold. Um, and that's kind of a preference, however you would like to do it. It's not super apparent. I don't think a lot of people notice what the corner of your chair looks like. Oh, and that was a point. I was trying to get the fabric off. I had stapled it too far in because I still wanted to be able to make sure to reach the holes where the screws go up through to attach the seat to the actual chair. And so I was cutting off the excess fabric to be able to reach it, and I stapled too far in, and then I couldn't get it out, which is how I came to the conclusion that the other people just used a regular staple because that was not coming out. I ended up just leaving it in there. So this is me just trying to make sure that I can reach that place where the screw goes in so that we can reattach the seat back, or reattach the cushion back. So then I placed it just where the chair, I just had it lying down on the ground. And if you wanted to make sure not to scuff the top, you could place a drop cloth down there or even that extra fabric if you wanted to. So I put the screw in first and I made sure it lined up to the hole on the seat bottom before I actually started tightening it down. And that's kind of what I'm doing right there. It's a little bit of a process, but it's actually not too difficult. And this project came together really quickly. Without having to stop and do camera stuff, I probably could have done this in less than 30 minutes. It's a super easy project, and I love how it turned out. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this, and I'd really appreciate if you give me a like and a subscribe below. Give me a thumbs up if you want to see more DIYs like this. And if you do something like this, please let me know in the comments below. Maybe give me a shout out, and I'd love to see what you do. So thank you so much. Bye, lovelies.